everybody. Welcome back to Mofo's Lessons. I know you guys missed me because I missed you. And I know you guys see me lit at the Lil Baby concert this weekend. I was so happy to see my man. So it made me want to talk about boundaries in relationships, right? And why do we need boundaries in relationships? And we need boundaries in relationships so that, for one, we can have equity in a relationship. For me, I'm like all about equality. Like if you ask me to do something, like you better be willing to give me that same grace when it comes around town. Like, yeah, so you need to have equality in your relationship. Also, it's important to have boundaries because, your partner is the person that you really want to build with. I don't know about you guys, but like the person that I'm dating, I'm always thinking about the future with them. If I'm going to get married to them, have kids, introduce them to my family, introduce them to my businesses and make money together and all those things. So, like, I need to be able to trust this person and trust that they know how to treat me, because if they're infringing on my boundaries, then, I'm not going to be treated right. Also, your spouse cannot read your mind. Like, how are they supposed to know what you want in a relationship if you don't tell them? And an example of that would be, if you don't want to have kids. If you don't want to have kids, don't date somebody that wants to have kids, because you're not going to be able to change their mind. Um, and it's just going to cause resentment in your relationship. I know one boundary that I kind of struggle with is I always feel like my spouse can just ask me to do anything and I'll do it. Like, I am just too ride or die. I just I hate telling my partner no. Like, I feel like they can just literally get anything they want out of me because I just love them so much, and it has not worked for me. I always find myself just like very unhappy in my relationships because, like, I just feel like my partners never respect my boundaries. This last relationship, I felt like I did a little bit better than the previous one, because the previous one I had no boundaries. Like, I was literally willing to jump off a freaking cliff, and I jumped off the cliff and it was not good. But this last relationship, like, I really tried hard to, like, switch it up and be like healthy, like I really wanted a healthy, loving relationship, and it just did not work out like that. It was just, we had good times and we had bad times, but unfortunately the bad outweighed the good, so it just wasn't worth like proceeding. But it sucks that we can't be friends. Like, it's just, but that's a boundary that I guess he has. Like, he doesn't want to be friends with me. He doesn't want to talk to me. He doesn't answer my phone calls. He blocked me. Like, but he did not tell me that he was going to do all that when we first got into a relationship. So he did not tell me that boundary. It clearly, I'm seeing it now and I'm a little salty about it, but it's fine. So what happens if you don't have healthy boundaries in a relationship? If you do not have healthy boundaries in your relationship, you're wasting your fucking time, because your partner is going to make you so mad. Like, it's like a respect thing. If your partner doesn't respect your boundaries, like, you're not going to be happy, obviously. So my last relationship, we were kind of like open. No, we were in an open relationship. Like, he was free to do whatever he wanted to do with whomever we wanted to do, but that was partly because we were long distance. Your partner may not want the same things as you. So you have to communicate the things that you want. Like, for me, one thing that's big in a relationship, like, it's a no-brainer for me. You have to support me in, like, in my business. Like, my partner has to be on my podcast. Like, he has to, help me build my brand. And that was another reason why, my relationship didn't work. I didn't feel like my partner was supportive at all to me in my business. I don't even think my partner knew what I wanted to do. And, like, that shows you for real, like, how somebody feels about you when they just don't really consider you or consider your livelihood or consider your life. And that's something that I should have said in the beginning. Like, I want my partner to support me and be a part of my videos and, be on my social media and all of that stuff, because some people, they don't want their relationship on social media, And if that's an issue for you, like, you're not going to be able to change somebody's mind. Like, I've dealt with that, I've done that, and it's just tricky. Like, boundaries can just be so difficult, and it can just make, really, it can add to the detriment of, a relationship with your spouse. So just be honest in the beginning. Also, having a conversation about boundaries leads to closeness in your relationships. Sometimes opening up to your partner about what you've been through in the past, or how you want to move forward in the future, that can kind of provide them a roadmap to, like, who you are. Like, for me, I have like a no putting hands on me rule. Like, I have some people who I know who are in relationships, and they fight their partners. They get into it. It's a back and forth thing. But for me, like, if you ever fucking put your hands on me, like, I swear it is on and popping. Like, it's over. I would just never be with you. Like, and it's just like, I just don't like when people touch me. Like, I'm just not that kind of girl that, yeah, don't touch me. Like, I don't even like when strangers try to hug me or anything like that. Like, don't touch me. I'm really big on my personal space. But like, my partner hearing that, he can kind of understand, and just like my history and everything that I've been through, like, I just really don't deal with like violence well. So what happens if my partner like doesn't respect my boundaries? Um this one is hard. Like, because some people have been in relationships for a really long time, but I am a strong believer that if you have a partner that does not respect your boundaries, that relationship is not going to prosper. um the first thing that you can do is just try going to couples therapy, or seeing like a life coach, or even talking to your pastors at church. That can help, find some clarity and open the doors to communication and a healthy relationship. But yeah, so if they don't respect their boundaries, I would say try therapy first, or talking to somebody, but not your friends. Don't talk to your friends. Talk to like somebody that's well versed in relationships, because you don't want to make a wrong decision because you're listening to your homegirls or your homeboys. Like, no. Also, if your partner doesn't respect your boundaries, you should start actually imagining life without them. Um, I just don't, it's just not, like, it just cannot feel good to be with a person that is constantly infringing on your boundaries. Like, I know it's not a good thing. Like, it's very hurtful when somebody is, not respectful of basically your set of rules of how you want to be treated. You're getting cheated on, somebody's beating on you, somebody's telling all your business. There's this one couple that I have on Facebook, and I swear every time they get into an argument, like, you see their argument on Facebook. And it's like, why? That would be one of my boundaries. Like, do not put our relationship business on social media. Like, it's just crazy that you guys will put a whole fight on social media and then be with each other the next day. So yeah, yeah, but maybe that's not a boundary in their relationship, and that's why they're married and they're together, and I'm single on this couch talking to y'all. So we mind my little business. Make sure you stand firm on your boundaries too. That's important. You never want somebody to, you know how, like, sometimes when you get in a relationship and, like, you can tell somebody, like, kind of fronted in the beginning, like, you're not really like that, because now they're kind of like treating you different, or the things that you make a big deal, they're like, that's not really a big deal. Yeah, so you got to watch for that. Like, people will really change up when you guys get together. And life just happens, so just make sure you have somebody that really respects you, and make sure you respect yourself, because it's not really on anybody else to treat you right. It's really on you to make sure motherfuckers treat you right, for real. Like, people are gonna, test your boundaries, test you, and your partners, like, everybody's human, so your partners are not exempt from that. Your family's not exempt from it, your friends. but especially not your partner. So make sure you stand firm on those boundaries. Um, make sure you know to teach your partner how to respect you for real. Also, someone who respects your boundaries, that's the person that you really want to be with. Somebody who, doesn't want to make you cry, doesn't want to see you hurt, doesn't me, I'm big on like don't yell at me. Like I do not like when people yell at me. I don't even like my mom yelling at me. Like I'm not letting no man yell at me. Like be in my face, just treating me bad, disrespecting me, like I'm not dealing with it. So it's like if I say to my man like don't yell at me, like don't speak to me that way, like don't talk to me in that tone. I don't care how mad you are, like you can talk to me like an adult. Like you need to be gentle when you speak to me. And I'm just like that type of person. And I'm like that with everybody. Like don't scream at me, don't yell in my face, nothing. And I felt like my ex really was not good with that. Like he was always screaming at me, always bitching about something, and that was so annoying. Like don't talk to me like that. And it's just like then when I have an attitude about it, you're like, well, let's move on. And it's like that was old. And it's like, no, because you're not respecting my boundaries, sis. You're not respecting my boundaries. So yeah. Just make sure that your partner for real respects that. um I know this episode, like I really talked about my past relationships a lot, but I was really triggered this weekend. Just yeah, I was really triggered this weekend, and I really wish that I stood on my boundaries more. I would probably be less hurt about my breakup than I am if I would have. But it is what it is, and you live and you learn. And I know that like my next relationship is just going to be that much better because now I do have boundaries. I do know what to look for. I do know how to stand on everything. I'm sorry, that's my timer. I do know how to stand on everything, and I just do not want to get complacent in my relationship. Like I want to be happy too. I want to have equity as well, and I deserve to be happy. And I'm gonna do whatever it takes. And if that means I have to like rewire my brain to set boundaries, that's what I'm gonna do. So yeah, I hope you like this episode of Mofo's Lessons. This is the last episode of the boundaries take, and yeah, it was really good to speak to everybody, and I hope you guys really use these boundaries in your relationships with other people, and I really hope that you guys are set free from just bad relationships and resentment. So that is all I have for you guys today, and yeah, I'll see you later.